All right, we're gonna get started. Welcome back. This is the second day of the Python VSCode. I hope you guys are all in the right spot. If you weren't here last time, my name's Brianna. I'm the head instructor. Yeah, we're gonna get started. First, I'm gonna ask a quick question. How many of us have completed the installation guide? Wow, awesome. How many have not? Okay, is it because of bugs, or you just haven't got to it yet? Okay, did you attend installation office hours? Okay, attend office hours if you have any problems. I won't be able to solve them during class, but all these lovely people up here can. So yes, great, but so glad we had a lot of success with the guide. That's great. All right, gonna get started. As always, lectures are gonna be recorded and posted to our YouTube channel. You should subscribe. Just kidding. Okay, I made us, if you were here last week, I had you fill out a Google form with your favorite song. I made a Spotify playlist, which I was just playing. It wasn't really that loud, though. I'll turn it up next time. It's about 4 hours long, I think. So yeah, you're welcome to listen to it. That's everyone's songs. We'll play it throughout the semester, so yeah, if you're interested. Okay, I'm going to click to the next slide, but these will be posted on B courses if you want it. Okay, so this is what we're doing today. We're going to start with some more announcements. We're going to do a really quick warm-up. We're going to do a demo with VSCode, variables, data types, and then if we have time, I'm going to try and get you to a practice question, then command line and terminal, and then another practice question, and then at the very end, you will fill out your lecture engagement, which you'll probably have to do a little bit after today, but maybe you can fill it out today. And then also at the end of these slides, I posted some bonus content. So if you're struggling on homework 1, I walk through each of the problems somewhat, especially when it comes to like more of the installation parts of the homework. So extra slides are posted here at the very end. I won't go through them during class, but they will be posted on B courses. Okay, so starting with the announcements. Homework 1 was released on Monday. September 1st, we didn't have class, but homework was released. It is due next Wednesday on the 10th at midnight. And then you have a late due date of 2 weeks after that on September 24th. I highly recommend getting it in here because it'll be a lot easier to follow along with the material if you've done the homeworks. But if you do need extra time because you have a lot going on, as all of us do, you can turn it in up till the 24th. So yeah, no points off for late, just get it in. Okay. Yeah, next Wednesday. Okay, office hour schedule are now on B courses. I tried to book some of the rooms. Those are subject to change, so just keep your eye out on the schedule. I'll try and make an announcement. We have the official schedule, but things are just kind of in flux. Yep, finish up the installation guide, and here are the office hour times. Right now everything is on Zoom, but I do have the actual schedule posted on B courses. And then if you're asynchronous, please make sure you're attending at least one of these for participation. Yeah, okay, cool. Now we're going to get started with a super quick warm-up because we have to go straight into VSCode today. So please, with the person next to you, can you talk about these 8 questions really quick? So turn and discuss. All my slides. All right, I'm gonna cut it off there. Thank you so much for chatting. That was great. Okay. Now I need 8 poor souls to answer my questions. So first one, what days are the homeworks released and when are they due? Yes.
They're released on Mondays and due the next Wednesday.
Perfect. where are homeworks posted and where do you turn them in? Does no one know? Yes.
They're posted on e-courses and turned in on VSCode.
Yep, perfect. Okay, when is the late due dates for homework? Yep.
2 weeks after the original.
Perfect. What are lecture engagements and when are they due? Yeah.
They go over another lecture and like important semester. So yeah.
Perfect. Yep. And then yeah. Okay. Where are slides posted and where are the recordings posted? Yeah.
Slides are posted on courses and the recordings are on YouTube.
Perfect. What do you need to pass this class? Yeah.
70% or higher overall.
And
the participation in the
close. Yes.
All the assignments related to the final.
Yes, bingo. You're super close though. Okay. When are final project presentations? Someone else. Yes.
Last week or instruction.
Perfect. Last question. What are some ways to get help with the class? Yeah. Perfect. Yep. You can ask any of these people if you have questions, either before class, well, probably after class, go to office hours, ask on Ed. I would say email us, but please ask on Ed first. But yeah, cool. All right. You can also watch videos. You can look at the slides, do the homework. Did you want to add something?
Yeah, I didn't attach the answer to number 4 and I didn't know what
the
answer was.
Good. So lecture engagements, they're basically our way of doing participation in the Python decal, in case you're asynchronous. So basically, it'll ask you to questions relevant to the lecture. You need to fill it out before next class. And it counts towards your grade. You only need to turn in 70% of them though, so keep that in mind to get full credit.
And that's only if you're asynchronous?
No, also for here.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's for mainly, we don't have it like a Google form you do every class because some people are asynchronous. Okay. All right, let's get started because we have a lot to do today. Okay, so starting with VS Code. What is VS Code? Did everyone download it? Yes. Okay, awesome. If you did the guide. So there's 2 main applications we'll be using this semester. VS Code is one of them. So why do we use it? Well, mainly it's free. It's also very, very common. So if you ever get into research or you're in your class, you'll probably be asked to use VS Code. A lot of people use it. It's very customizable, which is really nice. And it works well with your terminal, which if you should have some practice with that with the installation guide. But yeah, VS Code, the other one we will use is Anaconda or Jupyter Notebooks, but that'll be the second half of the semester. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to open up VS Code. So please make sure you have that open. This is what it should look like when you first open it. Sure, I'll make it full screen. Okay, so please give me a thumbs up when you have it open. Is anyone struggling to get it open? Can someone help? If you have a problem, just raise your hand. Okay. All right, so I'm going to get started. So what we're going to do is we are going to start by, we just opened VS Code. This is what it should look like. Then we are going to open a new folder. So there's my mouse. I'm going to click on open. And then from there, I am going to open a new folder. So you want to make sure you are under your user. So there's multiple users on my computer. So I'm going to go under my user. And then I am going to press open. And then, whoop, not quite what I wanted. Hold on. Oops, sorry, that's not what I wanted. Going to go back. Sorry about that. I'm going to go to File. And I'm going to go back to the welcome window. Yeah. Okay. That works. Okay, so go here. Sorry, that was my bad. Okay, we're going to go to open. You want to be under your username, and then you want to click new folder. Okay, so make sure you have that open. And then from new folder, We are all going to name it the exact same thing for consistency. So I'm going to zoom in. I can't zoom in. Okay. I'm going to call it Python underscore decal underscore fall 25. So you should see Python Python underscore decal underscore fa25. Please make sure that's what you're calling it. Just for consistency reasons, we will be using this folder for the entire class. So yeah, everything you work on in this class, we will store in this folder. So please keep that in mind. If you're running into problems, you can always rewatch this lecture after we post it. Okay, so I'm going to create this new folder. It should be empty. There should be nothing inside. Let's see, can I zoom in now? Nope, okay. And then I'm going to click open. Awesome. Okay, so this is what you should have now. Now we are going to open a new file and we are going to make a Python file. So to do that, I'm going to zoom in again. Okay, and then I'm going to click this button all the way to the left. See if I can change, if I can see the screen. Okay. I'm going to click this button, which says new file. And then I'm going to call it, let's see what I called it in my notes. I'm going to call it data types. .py. Okay, thumbs up if we're on this step. Hand if you are confused. Okay, what question, is it a quick question? Or did you got it? Okay, so we are going to create that new file called data types. And then this is what your new file should look like. It just should open in this new window with the name. From there, we are going to close this external window on the left by clicking this tab on the top of our sidebar, just to get rid of that Explorer. Then we are going to start by writing our Python script. So this is the first line of our script, and that is where we're going to write our first line of code. Basically, there are two different ways I like to think of in programming. There is scripting, which is what we're going to practice now, and then there's working in cells. Cells, we will cover with Jupyter Notebooks in the second half of this semester, but for now, we are going to practice the skill of scripting, where you write a bunch of code and then you run it on your computer, rather than running it chunk by chunk. So that's what a script is. So we opened up a new file, similar to like a Word document or a Google document, but now we can actually ask it to run things for us. So we're going to click on this first line, and then we are going to print our first command. So, oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, I'm going to type print, and then I'm going to type in hello, comma, world. Okay, so what are we doing? This, I would say, is probably the first thing if you ever take a programming class or do a workshop or whatever, you always print hello world. So that's what we're doing today. Print is a function. We will be covering functions a lot more in not next week, but the week after. And then this inside is called a string. We will cover more of that later, but you need to make sure you have two quotation marks around your hello world text box. Okay, so we're going to call that, and then now we see this little white dot at the top. That means our file is not saved. That means we have made changes and we have not saved our file. So what we need to do is press either Control S, or you can go up to the top like you saw me do earlier, click on File, and actually save it for yourself. So make sure you're doing that as you go along, because this won't save your information for you, yeah, so keep that in mind. Okay. Next, we are going to run our script. So to do that, I'm going to go up to this button right here, and I'm going to press it. Okay, so, oh look, and it popped up for me. So this button says run Python file. So that's basically your big go button when you write something. This down here is called your terminal. It's slightly different than the terminal you have on your computer, but it's pretty much the same thing. But this is what we asked our computer to do, and it printed hello world for us. Notice there's no quotation marks because that's not actually part of the text that we are printing. So there you go. You just wrote your first Python script. You're officially a programmer. Okay, so Now, see what's next. Okay. Yeah, okay. Another thing about the terminal that you might have seen as you were doing the installation guide is that there's this little percentage sign right here. That means your terminal is waiting for your next command. So if I was to hit the go button again, then it would run the same script again and I'd get another hello world. So if you don't have this percentage sign, that means your computer is still working on running the program. So if you're going to run something again, make sure you see this basically a waiting symbol. We'll get into what all that means later, but just keep that in mind. Okay, so also all of these notes are on the slide, so if you miss something that we're doing, everything is already in my notes. Okay, so from there, we can also access Python by using the built-in terminal. So I'm going to type in Python 3. And then I'm going to hit enter. Okay, so what I just did is the terminal and Python are two totally different languages. You have a quick question? You can also just try Python to the Python 3, but it's a bigger problem, so not something So I'm sorry, I have to keep going. There's so much to cover. Okay, yes, so your terminal is a completely different language than Python. Python is a scripting language, whereas your terminal is a bash shell language. These are two different things, but you will be using both of them during this class. So we're using the terminal, and as a way to run Python for us. We will talk a lot more about the terminal in about 20 minutes, but I'm just going to keep going. So we're opening up Python on our terminal. And from there, we can actually run our script with our terminal by calling, or we can run Python by calling print hello world again. Okay, and then from there, I'm going to hit return, and it printed it out for me. So right now, I'm inside of my terminal. From my terminal, I opened a Python, I opened the Python language. Then I called the command print hello world, and it returned that print statement for me. So that's what we did right there. All right. So the next step we're going to do is good. Okay, so in order to quit this, we are going to type quit, and then we're going to put 2 parentheses, and that will bring us right back to our terminal language. So this is no longer in Python. Those are 2 different things. So right now we are back to our terminal. All right, so that closed our Python session. Okay. Good. All right. And then, all right. Now we are going to cover some more about what it means to actually work in our script. So let me see if I can close this. Okay. I'm just going to bring this down. I'm going back to my script. Okay. So you wrote in the Python language. This is Python language. However, you can also write language that your computer will not read when you run your script. So that is something called a comment. So in order to comment out your code, you're going to go Command Q, or you can just add that little pound sign. Sorry, Command question mark. And then you're going to add that little pound sign to the front of your line. If you want me to do it manually, I can show you. So this is in Python, and then you just add a pound sign, and that is now a comment. Do we have questions? Do we have problems? Yeah, there's a lot of problems when we code. Okay, so that is called a comment. Now if I'm going to click my button again, it no longer runs that on my interface. Okay, who's following along so far? Okay, is there a minor question someone has about what we're doing? Or do you want me to explain anything that we did? Okay, I hope the side chatter is good, but it sounds like it's not good. All right, so we commented out our code, we ran it, and nothing showed up. That hello world did not appear because the commented out code means our script is no longer reading it. We can also do multi-line comments by doing 3 lines and then writing code in here. So if I go. This is a comment, and I hit this go button. Once again, nothing will run in my terminal below. Okay. Like I said, we're jumping right into the deep end today, so yes.
For this, do you want to push like 3 lines in between, or is it like, do you press enter?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Are there any other questions so far? Yeah. Yeah, so I use 3 quotation marks. So those are like the quotation marks you have on your computer. And then I press enter twice, and then I wrote this comment in the middle. Okay. All right, we're going to keep going. So sorry, we got a lot to do today. Okay, so that was basically the first chunk of the class. That's VS Code. That's our main program. This is where you'll be writing your homework. Okay, so now we are going to go over some data types. So a data type is basically how Python categorizes different chunks of what the type of, I guess, data you're working with. So what we typed up there is a string. That is just language. You can't do math with it. You can't do analysis with it. It's just meant to be printed out on your command line. That is called a string. Then we will also be going over integers today, which are whole numbers like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're also going to be covering floats, which is like 0.1, 1/2, 2.5, etc. So we're covering 3 data types today. All right, so we're going to start by creating a variable. So I'm going to go back to my script, and I'm going to type in x equals hello, comma, world. Okay, so then I can print x, and now I have created my first variable in my script. So just like math, a variable is basically it's a little box. It'll hold whatever you give it, which is you give it something by using that equal sign. So we handed it a string that contains the words hello world, and then we are going to print our variable with our print function. And I'm going to press this arrow again. And there we go. We have hello world for us. All right. So, okay. Yep. Okay. So we can also confirm what data type this is by using the type function. This is very important. You'll be using this a lot on your homework, so just keep that in mind. So we're going to use print, and then type, and then x. And then from there, I'm going to hit the arrow button, and it tells me I have a string. Ignore the word class for now. You don't really need to know what that means, but just pay attention to the things in the little quotation marks. That is your data type. Don't worry, you will get a lot more practice with all of this on the homework, so just keep that in mind. Okay, so the print parentheses is called a function. Type parentheses inside of print is another function. So we will be covering how to build your own later, but for now, we are just using built-in basically tools that Python already has coded up. Okay, so now we're going to cover, let's see. Good. Now we're going to cover integers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to call another variable. So I will call y equals 5. Then I'm going to call print 5. Oops, sorry, print y. And then I'm going to run my script with this arrow, and it'll print it out below. So because I haven't commented out my previous commands in my script, everything's printing. Python's like, oh, you wrote all of this stuff, and it just plops it out for us. So we have hello world. We have it telling us what x is, and then we also have our new variable y, which is 5. Okay, so that's what that's doing. But if we wanted to, we can comment out these lines. Here, I won't do my little cheat code because I think that's confusing. I will just write a pound sign and then another pound sign. And I've commented out this code. So then, if I hit my arrow button, now I only get 5 appearing on my terminal screen. Okay, thumbs up if we're here. I'm seeing less thumbs. Thumbs down if we're not here. Okay. All right, so that is we covered a string data type. Now we're on an integer data type. Now to check what this is, we can call print type y again. And then if I run this arrow, I see integer. So that is our second data type of the day. We've done strings, which was hello world. Then we have done integers, which was 5, the whole number. So Python likes to differentiate between different types of data you are using in your programming. Okay, cool. Next, we're going to cover floats. So let's see. Good. So now I'm going to make another chunk. Try and leave that up there. Move this down just a little. Good. So now I'm going to call z equals 2.5. Then I'm going to call print z. As you'll notice, we're doing the same thing over and over, but that's just for practice. So then I get this 2.5 down here, and that was me printing z. Okay. Next, I'm going to print the type of z. Oh, sorry. And run it again. Good. Okay, so I'm going to talk through what I just did. I created a variable called z. I set it equal to 2.5. I told Python, hey, tell me what z is. And it said, okay, I will. And then I said, hey, tell me what type of data z is. And it said, okay. And so it printed out 2.5 and it printed out float, which is the data type. Okay, so that's what we've done. Those are data types. There are dozens of data types in Python. You can even download tools to make new types of data. Those are the 3 most common. In your homework, you will cover a bunch of other ones, but that's all we have time for in class. Okay, so, good. Okay, so I can also print types directly. So as another example, I can just call print, I can call type, and I can call, let's see, 7.1. And that will directly just pop out float again. So you don't necessarily need to feed your functions variables. You can just immediately feed them the data. So keep that in mind. Okay. All right. Now I'm just going to close this. Keep yours open. But I'm going to bring back up my slides. And I'm going to have you turn to your partner. And can you answer these questions? Okay. Okay, so turn to the person next to you and just discuss these right here, just real quick, about what we just covered. Just like I don't. I felt like. You guys, remember not to be using your laptop for these questions. Thank you. That includes Googling or using AI. Appreciate it. Okay, well, I guess Charlie made us all quiet. No, you're so good. Okay, do we want to know the answers or do we want to keep going? Raise your hand if you want to know the answers. Raise your hand if you want to keep going. Very impartial. Okay, all right, how would you write a script to assign a variable to 0, 1, 2? You would literally take your variable, call it A, equal sign, brackets, 1, 2, 3. That's just what we did. So you'd literally repeat the formula of what we just did, but instead of after your equal sign, you'd put these guys right here. How would you print that variable? Can someone tell me? If I call this variable A, how would you print it? No, just the variable. How did we print our variables? Yep, just print A. That's all you do. That's all I was looking for. Okay, how do you determine the data type of your variable? Perfect, good. Okay, how do you run your script on VS Code?
Hit that cheeky button at the top right.
Okay, yep, hit the arrow button. All right, now we're going to move on to a different way of coding. We're going to enter the terminal. It sounds very scary, and you're going to feel like a hacker, but we're going to do that now. Okay, so how you're going to do that is, give me 1 second. Okay, good. All right, I would give you the answers, but we don't have time. You can see the answers on the slides. Okay, so what is the terminal? Let's open it up. So I'm going to close VS Code, and I'm going to go to this little, if you're on a Mac, this is what your little terminal application should look like. And I'm going to open up a new window. Okay, this is super small, so I'm going to really zoom in. Okay. All right, thumbs up if we're on the terminal. Hand if you don't know how to get there. Okay, if you're on Windows, you can search it in your little search bar and type terminal. Go to get bash. If you're on Windows, do not use your regular terminal. You will end up with a ton of errors. Open get bash. Windows people, thumbs up. Does that make sense? Okay, should have covered that on the installation guide. Okay, cool. All right, so we're on the terminal. What is the terminal? Does everyone know what a GUI is? Raise your hand if you don't know what a GUI is. Okay, I'll explain it. GUI stands for Graphical User Interface. So when you open up your file system, which I hope you've done before, but no worries if you haven't, this is your file system. Oh, it opened on my other screen. This is what it looks like. So if I go to Applications, just like on Windows, this is what you go to access different things. So like how you access your photos, your documents, your pictures, all that stuff is done with your file system. This right here is called a GUI, Graphical User Interface. Basically, the terminal is a fancier version of this. So basically, it's the GUI, but you can do way more and way more intense. But it is harder to learn, and it was so difficult for me to learn, and probably everyone up here agrees with me. So if you struggle, no worries at all. That's what the homework's for. That's what office hours is for. So just practicing you, but it's really, once you get it, it's not too bad. Okay. All right, so Windows, yeah, make sure you're on Git Bash. All right, so I'm going to start by opening my terminal, which is right here. And then this little pound sign, just like on VS Code, means my terminal is ready for a command. So that means we are ready to go. That little squiggly line means I'm in my default directory or my home directory. That might sound like complete alien language. It just means you're at home base. So just how when I opened my GUI system, it plopped me somewhere, that's what this terminal is doing. We'll learn more about that in just a second, but that little squiggly line basically means you're at home base. Okay, and then my username, Brianna Peck, is all the way to the left, and then the computer I'm on is on after the @ sign. Okay, not super relevant to this class, but just so you know for the future. Okay, so let's start by figuring out where we are. So I'm going to call PWD. So that stands for Print Working Directory. Directory is a fancy word for folder. So when I say directory, just think in your brain, folder, same exact thing, just different language. Okay, so that means I'm in the folder users, just like we saw earlier when we opened VS Code, inside of the folder bpep. So how the terminal separates out your folders is with those slashes. So if you've ever used like Google Drive, similar idea, but separated by those slashes. Okay, so that printed our current working directory, so that's your home base. Then what I'm going to do is, not going to do that, skip that part. Okay, don't have time. All right, so next I'm going to cover ls. So what did that do? Whoa, that really changed my screen. So that's basically listing everything. Let me scroll back up just a little. ls right here. That listed all of the contents of my home file. So right now you're seeing into my personal computer. Probably shouldn't be doing this, but it's fine. So you get to see all of my folders. So I have documents, I have desktop, downloads, etc. You should have this too. So that's my home base, basically where all my stuff is. So it stands for listing your current working directories. Okay, so next we want to go down to the file we made, which is called Python decal fall25. So if you followed my instructions from earlier, this file should be in your ls command. Good. Okay, so now we're going to practice going into that directory. So I'm going to call the command cd. So what does cd stand for? That stands for change directories. So we've covered 3 commands. we printed where we are in our terminal, we listed everything in that folder, and now we're jumping into a different folder. Okay? The commands are really hard to get used to, and there's quite a few of them, but there's lots of practice. Okay, so we're going to change folders by calling change directory. Then I'm going to type in Python decal fall 25. Okay, enter. Nothing should show up. That's a good thing. Okay, so all I've done is change directories, and your computer might not do this. 1 second. Or unless one of you can help, so sorry. Okay. Is it a quick question? Okay. So if your computer might not tell you this, but mine does tell me where I currently am in my system. So if it does, you should now see this folder. Okay, so I just changed into a new folder, and how I can confirm I'm there is by calling pwd again. So now I see users, I see vpec, which is me, I see Python decal fall 25. So that's the current folder I'm in. So I'm inside a folder, inside a folder, inside the big folder users. So just keep that in mind. All right. Next, what I'm going to do is I'm going to call ls again to tell me what's inside. Good. So earlier we made this file. We made datatypes.py. So if you followed along with VSCode, you should have this file inside of your folder. Okay. How many people have this file there? Okay, good. Okay, some of us are following. That's good. So ls, you should have this file, data types, which covered some of the notes we did earlier. All right. Good. All right, next we are going to... Good. So now I'm going to call concatenate data types.py. Whoop, sorry, that's a typo. So yes, this is a fun command. It says cat. I think it's fun. Data types, that's the name of our file. So what does concatenate do? I'm just going to hit enter and show you. Oh, okay. I was like, wait a second. Okay, thank you. Data, I had 2 typos. Okay. Huzzah. Okay, good. Thank you so much. So what did that do? I'll just up arrow so you can see the command we were working with. I called cat, which basically tells your terminal, hey, there's this file. Can you print out every single line? But it won't run your code. It just literally prints every single line of code that you wrote. So you can take a look at it. So that's what concatenate does. We'll learn more about concatenation later on in the semester, but that's the terminal version. Okay, so now we can run our script in our terminal again. So I can do this by calling Python 3, but instead of opening a new language, basically a new shell inside of my terminal, I'm just going to run my script outright. So how I can do that is by calling Python 3 and then actually typing data types. Whoop, another typo. Data types.py. Okay, then I'm going to hit enter, and boom. Just like on VSCode, it did the exact same thing. So Python doesn't change depending on what location you go, just the output changes. So I have my 5, my integer class, or my integer data type, and then all the other stuff that I wrote previously. So that is how you run a script on the terminal. You will be asked to do this on the homework, so make sure you understand these steps. But everything is in the slides, and this is recorded. Okay, cool. So now how do we edit a file on terminal? We're going to talk about a new command. I know there's a lot. I'm sorry. Nano. I think that's another fun name. Then I'm going to call data types again. And then before I hit enter, I'm just going to talk about nano. So this basically is going to open up a word editor. It'll act just like VSCode, a little different though, because you can't actually click and touch. But there's a lot of different text editors that are available on terminal. I was taught Nano, so I'm teaching all of you Nano. But there's Emacs, there's Vim. If you find a different one, you're welcome to. But I've just stuck with Nano my whole time. So that's what we're going to call Nano space data types your file. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. And that's going to open up this new window. Okay, so then I'm going to edit my file. Good. Okay, let me make sure. Good. So I can uncomment this. So I'm just going to go here and I'm going to delete this pound sign. That's all I've done. That's all I'm going to change. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I need to press Control X to exit my file. You can learn what all this other fancy stuff does, but I'm not going to cover it in lecture. You're welcome to ask me during office hours, but we're going to go Control X to close this file. So Control X. It's going to ask us if we want to save our changes. We're going to hit yes. So hit Y. Then it's going to say, okay, is this the name of the file that you want? And yes, because we've edited the exact same file, so we don't want to change the name. So I'm just going to hit enter. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. And I'm back to my terminal again. Okay. Now we can rerun our file again by calling, make sure I didn't skip a step. Yep. Okay, by calling Python 3 data types .py. Okay, I'm going to hit enter again. And there we go. I have hello world at the top. So what I've done is I've opened the terminal. I navigated to my Python decal folder, which you should use for the rest of the semester. I made a file called data types previously on VSCode. Then I ran that file on my terminal. I opened it up, I edited it, and then I ran it again. This is what you'll be doing every single time you work on your homework. It's a lot of run, check, over and over and over again. That's how programming goes. So this is just a minor example of how to get started with that. Okay, so let's keep going. Okay, where did my mouse go? There it is. Okay, let's see. The next step I have. Good, okay. So you can also you can also make a new file on your terminal with a command called touch. I don't know why it's called touch. If someone knows, let me know. And then I'm going to call script.py. So this touch command is going to create a new file. So I'm going to press touch, and then I'm going to hit enter, and then I'm going to call ls. So what did I do? I told my terminal, hey, okay, I instruct it by calling touch. I said, hey, make a new file called script.py. Then I told my terminal that, hey, can you list all of the files in my folder? So then I had data types from earlier, and now I have scripts.py. Okay, so I made a new file. Okay, and then, yep, okay. Don't want to skip any steps. Okay, and then I'm going to edit my file by calling nano script.py. Okay, give you a second to copy that down. Then I'm going to hit enter, and it's going to open nano again. Now I'm going to make this a script by calling print 2 + 2. Okay, this is our first math with Python, so this is really exciting. I think it is. So we're going to call print, like I said, we're going to add 2 integers together. Now we're going to repeat the same steps as we did earlier. So I'm going to call Control X. I'm going to hit Y, and then I don't want to change the name of my file, so I'm going to hit enter. Okay, cool. Now it brought me back to my terminal, and I can run my file by calling Python 3 script.py. Okay, yes. Is it Windows? Windows?
Sorry, what?
Okay. I think it's, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, okay. Cool. I'm going to run my script, and boom, it did math for me. This is just one of the fundamental things that Python can do for you. The whole part of programming, as you'll learn, is to get your computer to do stuff for you. You get it to do math for you, to do science for you. All this stuff is much easier when you program. So we just got it to do math for us, which is awesome. Okay, I'm running short on time, but let's see how much we can finish. We're almost done. Okay, I'm going to make a new folder. So I'm going to call make dir. Now you're going to write your name. Okay, don't write my name unless you have my name, but I don't say anyone's name that has my name. Okay, so you're going to call mkdir your name. Can people in the back see? Okay, good. So make dir stands for make directory. And then I'm calling that new directory my name. So call it your name, whatever your preferred name is. This is very important. You'll be using this folder for the rest of the semester. Okay, cool. Make Cool. All right. And then next, where'd my mouse go? Oh my goodness. There it is. Okay. Next in my notes. Okay. Now we're going to list the contents of our folder, Python decal. And inside, we now see the good old familiar data types. We see our new guys script. And then we also see this new folder, Brianna. So we should now have 3 items in our Python decal folder. So Brianna is a folder inside of Python decal fall 25. So keep that in mind. Okay. Now we're going to change directories into Brianna. So I can call CD and then type your name. Then I'm going to call LS and have it list everything inside. You should have nothing show up because we haven't done anything in this folder. It is brand new. It's like a baby. Okay. Then I can also call PWD, and this tells me my file path. So I'm inside of users. I'm going to go through it again. Inside of BPEC, inside of this folder, inside of Brianna. Okay, so that is basically the path to the treasure chest, basically, is your file path. And the treasure chest is your current working directory. Okay, so, good. I'm going to teach you one more trick before we run out of time. So if I want to jump back up to Python decal fall 25, I would call cd ... Then I hit enter. And if I hit pwd again, then now we no longer see Brianna. That's gone because now we're inside of this folder again. So we use cd space ... which are the periods, to jump up to something called a parent folder. So a parent folder is what holds a child folder, or more appropriately, parent directory and child directory. So parent would be, for example, BPEC is the parent to Python decal, but BPEC is the child to users. So that's just some common terminology that we'll be using throughout the semester. So parent holds the child is inside. So a folder can be both a parent and a child directory. Okay, so that's how you jump up. Okay, do I cover anything else? Okay, yep, I did that. Okay, good. And then if I want to go all the way back, do you remember the little squiggly line from the very beginning? So if I want to go all the way back to the squiggly line, I can just call CD. Boom. And that plops me back into my squiggly directory anywhere on my computer. So I could be like 18 folders deep, and if I want to go back to home base, I just call CD. Okay, so I can show you that by calling pwd, which brought me back to BPEC. I could have also gone back to BPEC by calling cd ... Either works in that one scenario, but CD generically will bring you back to the squiggly line or the tilde. Okay, good. I think that's all we have. We have 2 minutes. How about with the people next to you? Can you answer these questions real quick? We have 2 minutes, so chat. Try your best. Similar foundations, but I just haven't very well. Okay, we're gonna come back together for 1 minute, and then we want to go home and get sleep. Okay, so stop talking real quick. Stop talking. Okay, can someone define for me what PWD is? I can't hear you. One time. It's print working directories, but close. Okay, what does LS stand for? What does it do? List what? Good. Okay, what does cat do? What does that mean? Yes. Good. Okay, and then what does CD do? Okay, good. And then what does nano do? Someone else. What does nano do?
Open for the text editors.
Okay, good enough. Yes. All right, you can go home. Give me 1 second, and then I can help.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you.